Hi guys, let's do it. All right, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you're coming from. I am Deborah. We are so excited that you're here to join us today. And whether you're catching this live or whether you're catching the recording, I wanted to just take a couple minutes and talk about the format of what we're going to be doing here and sort of what inspired Brittney and Becca and I to be here with you guys today and every 2 weeks from here on out. So we're really excited about this opportunity. I wanted to first introduce sort of the reason behind why we opted to collaborate together on this project. And Three Wives Empowering Lives is coming from a heart the three of us share that really has stemmed 60 plus years of holistic research, a real passion for empowering others to live healthier lives step by step wherever you are. And what I really want you guys to gain from this, number one, I want you to feel like this is a safe space for you. We will not be hard selling you anything. We are here to serve you. And so we really want you to feel like this is a safe haven where you can ask us questions, where you can be raw and real in the same way that we're gonna be raw and real with you. We will be talking about things that may be outside of the societal norm. We do have research to back up everything that we say. We are not medical professionals. We do not claim to be, but we do have a massive amount of research simply because we really feel like this is where God has really laid on our heart a passion to be able to help share this truth with others that has stemmed from so much research and so much certification and education that we've gone through individually and collaboratively to really be able to help you guys. So I want you to just kind of really feel like this is a fun place. This is a safe space. We're going to be having a lot of fun here. And what I'll do is sort of start with a little bit of background about myself, and then I'm going to pass it over to Brittney and then over to Becca. But I started getting into this as a background. My husband is a chiropractic. He's a doctor of chiropractic, and he's a health expert in the Baltimore, Maryland area. And my background is in fashion. So there was nothing about my background at all that had led me to the holistic lifestyle up until the time that I had met my husband. And we had met, and he had introduced this holistic lifestyle idea to me that at the time I felt like I had a very receiving heart for it. Not everybody does. One thing that I learned through my journey is you really need to love people where they're at. And we can empower people, we can encourage people, but we can't force people to accept a lifestyle of which they're not ready to accept themselves. So I say that because I want you to feel like no matter where you are, we love you where you are. We're not expecting, you're not going to feel judgment here. But that's really where I was at when my husband started really empowering me with these different ideas that I had never really considered before. And throughout the course of the last 15 or so years, I was introduced to different things pertaining to, living an organic lifestyle, eating cleaner, really cleaning up my beauty routine, relooking at our cleaning products, looking at what toxicity and deficiencies in my body looked like. And it completely, you guys, changed my mindset and changed the outcome of where my life was. I look back at that, I was very overstressed, I was overweight, I was overworked, and I felt like, I needed an answer. And my husband really enabled me to start seeing the path of which I've been able to follow over the last roughly 12 or 15 years. We now have 3 boys. My 3 boys are 5, 7, and 9. I homeschool all of my kids. That was within the last year. So I am a working mom who homeschools, who has a massive amount of flexibility, and we'll talk about that through the course of the next several episodes here. My children have never received a pharmaceutical drug in their lives. We will talk about those things as well. And we're a clean family. So despite the chaos that can occur sometimes, let's keep it real, right? Just trying to keep 3 little people alive some days seems like it's a journey in itself. But it has been just an incredible blessing, and being able to be equipped with the knowledge of what works for our family. And again, you guys, that you may find little snippets and little facets in there that work for you. But there were a lot of things that I've just over the course of time have adapted to more holistic lifestyle regimens that have now become our day-to-day routine. So with all of that said, I do want to present you with a fun fact, and then I want to introduce Brittney Kara. A fun fact for me is that some of you know this if you follow my social media already, but one thing that I've gotten a lot of commenting on was the fact that I used to be a DJ. And the part that not everybody knows is that I was fired from that job, you guys. And I was fired because they did not like my choice of music. So at some point, we'll get into that a little bit more. And I do like a lot of different types of music now, but they just did not want to do the Bee Gees. They did not want to do the 80s rock. And I thought, you know what, this probably isn't the best spot for me. So they eventually let me go. So with all of that said, Brittney is sitting there looking like, are you serious right now?
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
So we are just to kind of bring it back, we are so excited for the opportunity to be here and to bless you guys. And if there are things along the way that you want to have us cover, certainly feel free to let us know that. We are completely open. If we don't know it, we will find out. And between the three of us with our 60 plus years of experience, I think that one of us will definitely have something to say about it. So with all of that, I want to introduce Brittney Kara. Now, Brittney, Becca, and I are collaborating on this for a multitude of reasons, but we all came together through our network marketing company that we are completely just so grateful for, in the sense of feeling for the first time financial freedom and time freedom. And there again, we'll get into that through future episodes. But Brittney is somebody that I've befriended for almost 4 years now. She has become my sister from another mister. And she's out on the West Coast. I'm out on the East Coast. I just love this girl so much. She is a tremendous leader in so many aspects of her life. She lives a holistic lifestyle in every sense of the word. She just moved into a beautiful brand new home that she built on her own sustainable ranch. She has 3 little kids. She is the epitome of my Jesus with skin on, truly. Like, this girl has such a heart and such a servant heart for other people. And she's hilarious to boot. So with all of that, Brittney, I want to have you take it away here.
Oh my gosh, I just love you, girl. I'm so grateful for you in my life. And I love that you were a DJ. Like, we have to somehow recreate that at maybe like a live event or something. But I could just so see you with like worship songs on, just like, I don't know. It's just such a good visual. So thank you so much, Deb, for that beautiful introduction and for sharing your story. And really, one of the reasons I was so excited about collaborating with Deb and Becca is that, this is a platform that we can use what we're finding on social media. And Deb and Becca and I receive thousands and thousands of messages from women every month that are really searching for solutions, searching for community, searching for connection, and trying to figure out what the heck a balanced life looks like, right? And I believe that balance is a myth. I think balance happens in little teeny moments in your day. But let's face it, when you're a mom and you're a wife and you're a business owner and you're maybe an activist or whatever it is that you're doing in your life, there's a lot of moving parts. And, my journey in health and wellness, I've been on a very intense health and wellness journey for the last since I was 16. And for those of you that don't know my background, I've spoken publicly about this for years, and I have a detailed story about it in my book. But when I was a young teenager, 13 to 16, I was a drug addict. And so I put a lot of bad substances in my body. I put a lot of pharmaceuticals in my body, and my life was really chaotic for a multitude of reasons. And at 16, I made the decision to really change my life. And I started to learn about detoxification and nutrition and supplementation and mental and spiritual healing, and was really able to get my life back on track and go through college and become a productive member of society. And so because I went through that extreme challenge in my youth, it really propelled me into the life of service and helping people, what I call opt out of the toxic agenda. And I know we have many amazing warrior mamas on the line right now that are in that same, medical freedom movement, non-toxic living movement. And so it's so inspiring to me to see so many women wanting to really live into their potential. And what I want you guys to know is that number one, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I'm always on a quest for knowledge and learning. And what we want to really serve you with in these calls is just different perspectives, different tips, different tools that we all might use. And Becca and Deb and I talk a lot, and I learn so much from these ladies all the time, whether it's, healthy cooking tips or snack tips for my kids, or other little, ninja tricks for business or organizations. So we just want to be able to give you guys that stuff. And these calls are free. It's just part of our service model of just giving you guys the tools and tips that really have propelled us into successful business owners, as balanced as you can get being a mom, but feeling healthy in your body, mind, and spirit, with, daily habits and rituals and things like that. And then most importantly, like raising healthy kids that are outside of, like Deb was talking about, outside of that societal norm. And I have three beautiful, healthy children. They also are pharma free, and we live as much of a non-toxic life as we can. So I'm going to be sharing a ton of my resources and tips with you guys in this platform. And that's really why I'm here, just to serve you guys and to empower you guys to know that you can produce something amazing with your life. We all have challenges. We all have backstories. We all have had labels put on us. We've all had, rock bottom moments where we thought, gosh, maybe I'm not meant to be anything. And I think women as a collective whole, we struggle with confidence and comparing ourselves and jealousy and all of these different things, right? And at the same time, we're bombarded with advertising that we're supposed to look perfect. We're supposed to somehow get it all done in a day. And we need to take a pill to be happy. And so again, we're gonna go through all of that in the coming weeks, and we're gonna chunk down. We're gonna have different themes that we talk about. Today was really just kind of an introduction, so you can get to know us a little bit. But that's me in a nutshell. And I'm super passionate about non-toxic holistic living and empowerment, specifically for women. It's just my heart and soul. So with that, I would love to introduce a beautiful, amazing warrior sister of mine. I have actually known her since the 9th grade. And fun fact, I don't homeschool my kids, but I was homeschooled as a kid. And my first day of school ever in my life was 9th grade. So just wrap your mind around how scary that probably was. Walking into school for the first time, being 13 years old and not knowing one single soul in that school. I was so scared out of my mind. And I remember going to the bathroom right before class started and looking in the mirror and being like, you're going to make friends today, Brittney. It's going to be okay, And this girl was one of the first people that talked to me, and she was so kind and sweet, and so grateful to just what we do in network marketing and social media, that it reconnected us. And she's become one of my closest friends. I love her dearly. And she is a wealth of knowledge with homeschooling and nutrition for her kids and just how she raises her family. I'm so in awe of her. So with that, I'd love to welcome on the line the beautiful Becca Moore.
Thanks, Britt. I know, I love that. I love our history together, and just going back to 9th grade, it seems like so long ago, but it also feels like just yesterday. So super grateful to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And like the amazing Deb and Britt shared with you, we really want this to be a safe haven for you guys. I feel like the biggest need I see with my social media platforms is really people just looking for solutions and looking for ways to improve their health and taking the guesswork out of that. Because I feel like when you're seeing all these things flying back and forth, it's hard to really hone in on what's true, what's not true, and being able to really differentiate how you can be your best health advocate. And so we're hoping over these little tidbits that we're going to be able to do these shows, that you guys will really learn just amazing takeaways and be able to simply apply them to your life. So if you guys have specific questions, I know Britt had posted in the chat to just share questions that that come up, and we'll get to those at the end. And so just a little bit about me. My name is Becca, and I'm a homeschooling mom of 3. And I never saw myself as a homeschooling mom. That was something that never thought I'd wear that hat. And it just kind of organically transpired exactly a year ago today. My son, I finally pulled him out a year ago today. Was our first day as a homeschooling family. And I can't imagine looking back. It's been such an amazing just journey, and just a great opportunity. And it just goes hand in hand with everything that I believe in. And I'll just be completely honest, like my health journey started 23 years ago when I was 14 years old, and I had an eating disorder. I was on the dance team and was just, they measure you all in front of your friends. And so you have this expectation of, I have to be the smallest. And so it really just put that thought in my head, unfortunately, at a really young age. And via that, I've just, always been an advocate for health since then. I used to see a nutritionist, which I feel like the nutritionist at the time was really misleading because it didn't really teach you how to eat. It just taught you, how to count calories, which we all know isn't just the important part. And via that, I, birthed my first 2 all natural, no meds, knowing that I wanted to bring them into this world holistically. And then my 3rd baby, if you don't know, she was actually an emergency C-section. I had complete placenta previa. And so that kind of rocked our world and just really took my first 2 kids being really, really sick to wake me up to the toxic agenda on us. Of course, at the time we were trying to eat as organic as we could. And I didn't know much about GMOs. It was just around the time that GMOs were coming out. And so just really being able to be our best advocate to detox these kids. Unfortunately, I can't say that my kids have never had a pharmaceutical drug. Both of my oldest 2, if you follow our journey at all, my oldest had temporary paralysis from the polio vaccine. So he got a link of polio from that and left him bedridden. A really, really sad story. And if you want to catch it, I've done a live on it before and I won't get into it right now because we don't have the time, but via him, it really woke me up. And he was 6 years old at the time. And it just really, really rocked my world. And I was able and fortunate enough to have Britt by my side. And I just called her up and let her know I need whatever I can to get this kid healed and get him back up to par because he was a completely healthy child. So sorry. My dog needs to go out real quick. Hold on really quick. He's just like begging at the door. Hold on.
Okay. While Becca's letting her dog out, we are going to share, we're each going to share one power tip after Becca finishes, guys. So and then each week we're going to have a different theme that we talk about in non-toxic living too. So.
Sorry guys, real life. My dog had to go out. So via my oldest, it just really kind of woke us up, and then it kind of put some pieces together with my middle child who used to get febrile seizures all the time. And it just really, really, I wish I had woken up sooner and put it together, but I can't go back. And so I was grateful that my son made a full recovery. My daughter made a full recovery. And via the simple tools that we'll provide to you guys, there really is a better way to live, and you being your best health advocate is really vital. And you have all the information at your fingertips. You can Google all the information. You can do your research. Lots of books out there on, healthy living and all of that. And I hope that you guys feel safe to ask us questions because this is a safe and private place. And with what I've been able to learn, I'm just so grateful that we just all the tools at our hands and really being able to give our kids their best they're their health advocates. And my little 5-year-old yesterday came home and she had been given, because it was St. Patrick's Day at school. I don't homeschool my littlest, so she goes to school, and she came home with a little bag of Skittles and a little chocolate coin because it was like the rainbow and the pot of gold at the end. And she got in the car and she showed me and she said, "Mommy," she's like, "I know these aren't good for me. They have the dyes and the corn syrup, and I want to swap these out." And that just was music to my ears because it made me understand a 5-year-old gets it. She knows, we talk about it enough. We're reading labels. She's just learning how to read. So she won't just pick up and she cannot just read a label, but she knows what's good for her and what's not. And I think that's really our ultimate goal behind this, is really being able to give you guys tools where you can be your best advocate. And even if it says USDA organic, not all of it's equal. So you really do need to do your research on knowing what's a clean ingredient and what's not. And so I hope that you guys feel that this is a place that will give you that information and be a great place just for resources. So with that, a fun tip about me is really just the homeschooling, because I really never saw myself as a homeschool mom. It was probably the furthest thing from my radar. And my son is the one that asked me. And I decided to just go for it. And it's been just a wild ride. And I'm just so grateful he gave me that opportunity because I would have never done it had he not asked. So with that, I just am so grateful for these ladies to be able to just, share our knowledge that we've all learned. And we all come from different backgrounds, which I love because we're all able to bring different things to the table. And I hope you guys are excited to learn with us. So welcome.
Thanks,
Becca. That was incredible. And I'm learning so much just listening to her too. I hope that you guys are getting some snippets from each of us that'll really bless you going forward. I think at this point, what we wanted to do, we'll kind of wrap it up because we do want to respect your time here. We're trying to keep these to about 30 minutes. So plus or minus, we'll really do our best to commit to that. What we do want to do, as Brittney had said, is to share a power tip with each of you. And am I on? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys, something super funky just happened. We wanted to share a power tip with each of you. And why don't we go in reverse order? Becca, if you want to go ahead and take it away here. We're all dying to hear what your power tip is.
Absolutely. So my power tip is really being your best advocate. I feel like we all have the freedom and the resources at our hand, that ignorance is not bliss. It's a choice at this day and age. And I feel like we all can, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you really hone in on if you're sick all the time, like healthy kids aren't sick all the time, healthy adults aren't sick all the time, and really being your best advocate and also being proactive on that, going to your annuals, getting your blood work, keeping your kids in their dental appointments, keeping your kids in well checks, and just really being your best advocate and educating yourself. I feel like that is so powerful. And and just guard that, because I feel like it's so easy in this day and age, unfortunately, to kind of be bullied into, what the status quo is doing and what everybody else is doing, but to go against the grain, even if it's, as simple as, and not as simple, because homeschooling is not simple. There's nothing simple about homeschooling, but if it's on your heart, maybe there's a reason it's on your heart. And I think if I had listened to my son on that, I would have really missed out on opportunities. So really being proactive and just being your best advocate, because all the tools are there. We are here as a resource. Again, like Deb said, we're not experts. We're not treating, diagnosing, or preventing anything, but we are simply sharing what we've learned. And I feel like that's something of value. And I don't think it's coincidence that you're on this call to be able to learn that. So that's my takeaway, is just really being your best health advocate.
Love it.
Love that.
And how about you, Britt?
So powerful. I mean, that's, my heart, Becca. I'm always like, no one is going to care more about your health than you, and no one knows your child better than you do. And so you never let anyone bully you. And our hope here is not that we're not telling you what to do. We want to empower you with tools so that you can become an expert in your own household, which is really what I teach, is becoming that expert in your own home. Because me being an expert for my family, that might look totally different for your family. And so we have to give ourselves that grace and that space to grow. My power tip is a little bit different. The girls were laughing at me last night when I shared it, but I get so many messages on social media, like, how do you do it all in a day, Britt? I get a lot of those questions. And the bottom line is, I don't do it all in a day. There's a lot of times that I feel super chaotic and scattered, but I'm always in the mindset of production and service. And one of the ways that I manage and balance our life, from, cooking meals, organic meals 6 nights a week, to running businesses, to advocacy, to taking care of my children and homework, and being a wife and a mother, all of the hats that we wear, right, as women. I'm going to tell you, my power tip is this. Do you like that, Deb? It's a sticky note, you guys. Sticky notes. This is my power tip. I'm telling you, I have a drawer full of them. You're going to make fun of me, but I have dozens of these things because I love sticky notes, because sticky notes allow me to be super productive. And I'm literally going to show you my folder. This is my planner, and this is a day in the life of me. And it's how I produce content. It's how I've written books. It's how I've written courses. And it's how I do my grocery shops and pay my bills. But here's what I do. I write down the important things. These are little mini goals throughout the day. And I know that when I complete a task, it gets crumpled up and I throw it in the trash. And if I didn't complete that task, the next morning it's still on my desk, and it becomes the first task that I do. And you guys, I'll tell you, I always start with the thing that I don't want to do first. Like the thing that I'm most like, oh, I don't want to pay bills. Oh, I don't want to have to fill out all this paperwork or organize my taxes or whatever it is, right? I do that activity first, because once that is off of my plate, the emotional availability and creativity that I have energetically is opened up. So I know that as moms, life can be so overwhelming. This time of year, whether you're homeschooling or you're a school mom, there is so much happening. I mean, there's so many activities and this and that, and all the paperwork from school, and this has to be turned in, and we've got this going on, and spring break's coming up, and there's so many moving parts. So my power tip for you today is to get out of the overwhelm and into productivity, and understand that whether you're running a business inside your home or not, you're a business owner in your house, because you're a mom and a wife, and to run a household is a business. Okay. So maybe you don't have a side entrepreneurial business, but you are the CEO of your home, and you're your own best health advocate, like Becca just said. And the way that I do it in my little power moments is to, so that's my tip. Don't train. I also write affirmations for myself and my kids. I put it on their mirrors. I put it on I used to have them all over my fridge. My husband was like, really? Do we have to have your goals all over our fridge every day? I like sticky notes. So if you're not a sticky note person, I really encourage you to try it. And I would love to hear feedback over the next couple weeks as we come together on these calls. Let me know how the sticky notes worked out for you. So that's my power tip. And I'm going to throw it to my beautiful partner in empowerment, Miss Deborah Roeder.
Can you guys believe how Brittney says this yesterday, right? And I'm like, is she's like, I'm waiting for a part 2, right? Like April Fools. And then I thought, well, at first my response was, my power tip is collaborating with somebody that says that their power tip is Post-it notes. But then I realized, listen to her, you guys. Like, is that brilliant? I am literally going to go, I'm not going to go to Target, because, you go to Target for Post-it notes and you spend $300. I'm not doing it. I'm going to order Post-it notes and I'm going to start doing this. I think it's so brilliant. Thank you for that tip. And Becca, you blow my mind. You blow my mind. You're so awesome. So my power tip, I'm going to bring it back a little bit. And you guys are probably going to laugh at this initially. I told my doctor this and he thought it was the funniest thing. Power tip is not to eat food that there is a commercial on television for. I'm going to encourage you to do that. And I want you guys to take note of that. Next time you're in front of your television, it sounds crazy. But when you start really understanding, and again, we're going to get into this whole sort of business idea. It's going to blow your mind a little bit behind what is behind the food that is brought to our attention, and that specifically is brought into the attention of our children's minds in our living room. I would encourage you not to invest money, not to spend money on food that you see on television.
I love that.
And there's a few exceptions to that. Organic Valley, there's a couple that are starting to a little bit more TV advertisement, but for the most part, that alone, if you do nothing else from a health perspective and you follow that tip, I promise you, you're going to see massive health investments on the back end of that. So that's my power tip for you guys today.
I love it. We're Amish, so we don't have TV anymore.
That's amazing.
We haven't had a TV in a year and a half, and I have to tell you guys, I don't miss it one bit. Obviously, we lived in a trailer for a bit, so that was why. But we don't have a TV in the house yet, and I'm really enjoying not having it. So I don't even know what commercials are out there. So I'm so glad there's even organic commercials, which is kind of cool. And did you guys see Carl's Jr. or one of the fast food places is coming out with a veggie vegan burger? That blew my mind.
What?
I have not heard about that.
I saw it somewhere and I was like, wow, okay, that's great. I'm still not going to go through the drive-thru to get it. However, I appreciate that they're trying a little bit, and the people that are maybe trying to get healthier and might be on a really, really tight budget and have, whatever their situation is, that they could maybe grab this vegan veggie burger. So I was like, it's a step in the right direction. So I love that tip, Deb. I love it.
Love that. Awesome. Well, I'm looking at Jenny's comments in the chat. That's so funny. Yes, it is. It's a bold remark. We are so grateful for you guys being on today. Our next 3 Wives Empowering Lives is going to be in 2 weeks. Becca and Brittney, any closing remarks that either of you guys have?
I was just catching up on the comments. Are you guys looking at those?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jenny, for your feedback. That was, it is. We are our best advocate. And as moms, our kids don't have a choice. And actually, my son, one of the things that bothered him in mainstream school, just going to share a little bit, is that one of the things that bothered him is seeing all the foods that kids came to school with. And it wasn't a lack of finances because it was stuff that's expensive. It was, you know, the individualized Lunchables, which aren't cheap, and individualized, you know, Cheetos or whatever, when it's so simple to swap those. And so I'm excited to share some tips with you over the next few weeks with these ladies that it takes the guesswork out of it. And I love that my kid I told him, I'm like, never pass judgment on those children. They're not packing their lunches, but it's giving them that, you know, just the secret weapons. They know, and they know what's good for their body and what makes them feel good and what's going to keep them healthy. And I think having a clean bill of slate, since they had been, because both 2 out of my 3 kids had paid their dues, but after waking up and really, really honing in on what was making them sick, they have a clean bill of slate and don't have doctor bills and don't have all these doctor, you know, they're not linked to farm. And so it's really, really powerful. And I think that's just such a huge testament. It kind of gives me chills to think about. And it makes me heartbroken for moms that don't know that yet. And that was me, because I trusted my doctors and I trusted all these healthcare people. And it's just really sad because I think we're just, you know, programmed to trust all these resources when it's not always 100% accurate. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited. And if there's specific topics or things you want recommended, we've all been sharing this on our social media. But if there's things you guys want, please comment in the chat or reach out to whoever plugged you into this live stream.
Awesome, Becca. I love that. And I'll just wrap up with just a quick announcement. So our next meeting, this was our introductory meeting. So we're going to be getting into, like we've been saying, more content is going to be on April 2nd. And our topic is ditch and switch. So we're going to be talking all about ditching the crap and switching it out, because I truly believe, and I know Deb and Becca feel the same way, that there is a healthy alternative for everything that you might be doing in your life right now that's toxic. There's a healthy version that you can still enjoy, and you can teach your kids how to ditch and switch in their own life, like Becca's talking about, like empowering your children to make good choices. And we're not going to all be perfect. We're going to go to the birthday party and have the pizza and have the cupcake. I mean, that's going to be part of life. Or, you know, in our case, maybe it's the glass of wine when our kids go to bed. There's no judgment, but it's just about what can we look for and what can we switch out to provide more sustainable, holistic approaches to the things that we do every single day in our life. And those little teeny changes can have a profound impact on your overall health and well-being, your mindset, your mood, your ability to create and serve in the world. So we're so excited to have you on this journey. And thank you for investing your time with us today. That's all for me. And Deb, you want to just close it out, and then we'll see you guys on April 2nd.
Thanks, Britt.
Yes, I just wanted to say, I don't think that I could have said that any better. I wanted to just all for investing time with us today. We are so excited about this journey. We are so just thrilled that you've invested in us and in this brand and in these bi-weekly podcasts. You guys, we cannot be more thrilled to just give you, even if we could set you on a, you know, you don't necessarily, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed like you need to go through and ditch and switch everything, or, you know, do a complete 180 with your life. I want you to feel like, you know what, here's one snippet that's making my heart beat really fast. That's something that I could do. Here's another thing that I could do. Take it in baby steps, okay? No one's expecting you. You don't have anybody watching you going, you know what, you really need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. No judgment. There is no better person to lead your family's health paradigm than you, okay? I just want to encourage you with that. We're going to meet you where you are. If there's one thing that you take from this, do it, implement it. Do you need accountability? We're here to help you. So I just wanted to piece out with that. And again, thank you for investing time. We're looking forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks. And you girls crushed it today.
So did you, girl. Thank you, ladies.
Guys, we'll see you on the 2nd. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.